ओम निर्माण मोहा जित संग दोषः अध्यात्म नित्या विनिवृत्त कामः द्वंद्वैर विमुक्ता सुख दुख संज्ञहि गच्छन्त्य अमूढ़ा पदम अव्ययम तत्. Padam avyayam, the supreme state. Avyayam means that is immutable, that is unchangeable. The other day you had asked a question, Shwetal, what is the self and what is the absolute truth? Anything that changes with time is relative. Now it is there, now it is in the state of manifestation. Before it got manifested, it was not there. And after some time, it could be 4 billion years for a sun, or it could be just a few hours for a mosquito. But it will not remain, which means it is arising, getting manifested from some cause. Without a cause, it cannot come into being. The fan is rotating above our heads. Now, we are all experiencing the air. What is the air? What is the wind? What is the sound? It is not there now. It is there now, and it disappears now again. Anything that is relative is not the absolute truth, it's relative. But one that is unchangeable, that always remains the same, that is the absolute. And what is that? Your own very self, your own very being. How do you realize that? Is it experientiable? Of course, yes. Swami Vivekananda, when he was in his teens, he was a very sharp boy, very fearless, a razor sharp mind he had. He would go to various teachers of his times and ask them one question. You talk so much about God. Have you seen God? And most of the others, most of those teachers would try to avoid the question because they had not. They were only getting into some intellectual knowledge, intellectual gymnastics. But the experience nobody had. Experience of the self. And when he met Sri Ramakrishna, the same question was asked. Have you seen God? Of course, Ramakrishna said. Yes, I have. But not in the way I am seeing you. The world you see with your 5 sense organs. You see, you hear, you taste, you touch, you step, smell. But this experience of the self happens when your mind is stilled, when you are completely silent inside of you. कुछ नहीं रहता मन में. No thoughting appears anymore. Even all the roots of thoughtings have disappeared. Even in your dream state, you don't get dreams. When you're sleeping, even then the dreams are not arising. You are so grounded in knowledge, in this jnana. Then what happens? You experience the source from which the mind appears. As the wind, as the sound is appearing from the source of the sky, there is the ether that starts vibrating at a certain frequency and it becomes sound. And now it becomes air, wind. Similarly, the mind arises from somewhere. Something is there that is getting into a form. I have anger, that's a form that the mind is taking. I have pride, that's a different form that the mind is taking. It is turning into that. I visualize the Eiffel Tower. The mind becomes that. Then what is it that becomes that? Where from this visual arising? There is a source. From the same source, all your beliefs also arise. This is good, that is bad. Wives should listen to husbands, husbands should listen to wives. People should be happy, people should not be unhappy. There should be love amongst partners. Partners should understand each other well. Parents should not be bossy. Children should be obedient. What are all these? And whence all these? From where? What is the source from which? The same source that becomes the Eiffel Tower, it also becomes the beliefs. These are also manovrittis, the mental formations. And we have understood earlier that any mental formation in which I am lost, I lose control. I become, in a way, unconscious. I start dreaming, whether it is in the waking state or in the sleep state. I'm not in the moment anywhere anymore. I'm not aware anymore. It's only when these clouds, this haze disappears, when the mind becomes still, then the possibility of experiencing sky, the sky of awareness, the light of awareness arises. And that is what Krishna is saying, Padam Avyayam, unchangeable truth. You are already that. It's just that you have forgotten or you are ignorant about it. But he puts certain conditions before that. He says, Nirman Moha. You have asked a question also, that how do I know whether I am progressing in spirituality or not? These are the parameters, these are the criteria that Krishna is enumerating in the 15th chapter, 5th couplet. Nirman, absence of ego, the sense of superiority, pride. I know better. I am smarter. I have more money than you. You have. I can understand things better than you. I have much sharper common sense than you have. I am much more creative than anybody else I know. This is called man, a sense of superiority. And most of us do have this. That's why we are not open to listening to the advice of others. I know, मेरे को पता है. Don't teach me. Our minds are closed, our ears are closed. You show me the mirror, I will show you the mirror in return. In my mind, I may think, if you have seen those TV debates among the politicians, they're all showing each other the mirror, but nobody is turning the mirror towards himself, herself. This is not there when you are spiritually progressing. Nirman moha. Moha means M factor, the sense of mine-ness. What was the problem with Dhritarashtra, the king, who was so supportive towards his son or sons, Duryodhana and Dushasana, especially? Whatever injustice they were perpetrating upon the Pandavas, he kept his eyes closed, despite knowing that his son was trying to kill his cousins. He kept his eyes closed. Actually, he was blind. But even the mental eyes, the eyes of intelligence, buddhi, people would come to him. Vidur would come, Bhishma would come and tell him that what your son is doing is not right. He would only do lip service. He would only make a show. Oh yeah, I know what he is doing, but then I am helpless. He does not listen to you. Are the king. He does not listen to the king. The problem was moha, the M factor, my son. And then you close your eyes to everything he is doing. And you know the result. What happened in the end? 100 brothers were killed in that war. Karma always comes back. Nirman moha jit sang dosha. Sang dosh, the attachment, the taint of attachment, the spot of attachment. And this attachment comes up in the form of your X factors, conditionings, and now we have understood the M factor is also a spot on the self. The self is vibrating. Ramakrishna would give the example. Look at the snake that is lying still. And then now the same snake starts crawling. Look at water that is still. And now you are seeing waves on the surface of water. These waves, they arise from the source. In order to experience the source, in order to experience the self, you must detach from all sangha, all attachments. But now, what is the challenging aspect here? Leaving your hearth and home and staying in a forest would have been much easier. Joining a monastery somewhere in the Himalayas would have been much easier. But the universal will is different for you. You are supposed to stay in that house with your relatives, with all their tantrums. The other question that you have asked, the relatives having the tantrums, one's mother, for example, has her own conditionings, that this household should be run in this manner, that everybody should wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, that you should go to bed before 10, that everybody should be there at the dining table together, that there should not be, all kinds of things can be there, obsessions can be there. You should not bring meat in the house. You should not even have onions and garlic. You should go to the temple every Tuesday. You should go to the Sai Baba temple who has given us everything every Thursday. It's the lady of the house who should do all the work. The gents, especially my son, should not do anything. The lady of the house should earn also these days and do all the household work also. Somebody can have these conditionings. If your M factor is strong, you say you feel like blasting, and once in a while, you do that too. That is not the sign of spiritual growth. My wife should understand me all the time. Wives should be understanding. That is not the sign of spiritual growth. Acceptance is the sign. And not trying to change anybody, even in the least. किसी को जरा भी बदलने की इच्छा जब तक है, तब तक काम करना बाकी है. So, Sangha dosha, X factors, M factors, and conditionings that lead to expectations and other desires that don't let you be in the moment. You have to transcend that too, Krishna is saying. That's why I always say that this is not for everybody, this path. It's only for the bravest ones and the wisest ones. It requires courage. हिम्मत चाहिए इसको फॉलो करने की. Of course, you can follow any religious path. You can go to the temple. You can go to the church every Sunday. You can give a lot of donation to various societies, NGOs. These are all the very secondary aspects of practice. The main thing is transcending Sangha while living in that house. So one trait, another trait is you are very comfortable in your skin living in that house itself. Now you don't want anybody to change. वही घर, वही relatives, same house, same relatives. But inside of you, you are detached as well as kind. Adhyatma Nitya. Nitya means forever. The practice of Adhyatma, spirituality, meditation, contemplation, constant. What does it mean? That it's not a mere technique. As the other day somebody was asking this question, that which meditation is better, is the best. It's not a technique. It's the evolution of understanding, evolution of jnana, and detachment from conditionings. So Nitya, constant. Nothing is more important to you than staying in the self, staying centered, staying true to your primary dharma. Vinivritta kamaha, transcending all desires. Dvandvair vibhukta sukha dukkha sanyahi. Sukha and dukkha. Pleasure and pain. What are called pleasure and pain? You have transcended them. What any other human being calls a day, you call it a night. What they call a night, you call it a day. There is another couplet in the second chapter, which means that your beliefs are now completely different from the others. And you are firmly cherishing your beliefs, loving your beliefs. Your beliefs are like Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Only the self is real. The world is an illusion. The X factors will only give you misery. This is your belief. Everybody else is believing that the X factors will give you excitement, joy, pleasure, happiness. Your beliefs are very different. The sense perceptions are real. And you know that these are illusions. The X factors and M factors are real. They believe. You know that these are only illusions of the mind, but it's all happening in your own mind. And you are not trying to make other understand. Udasinavat. This is the challenge. You are udasin towards your own conditionings, towards the societal beliefs, but at the same time, sarvajana priyatvam, shama, daya, sarvajana priyatvam. At the same time, you're kind, compassionate, loving. They will not even come to know how stable you are in your practice. You are with children, you are playing with them. You are with your relatives, you are smiling. You might be loving solitude, but nature will not give you solitude all the time. While you are in solitude, you are very, very comfortable, happy. But that is not the final thing. While you are with people, you are as comfortable, as peaceful, as happy. These are the signs of spiritual growth. And another thing, that practicing the inquiry only once is not sufficient. It would have been sufficient if we had a very, very subtle mind of a Vivekananda, of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of a Ramakrishna, of a Ramana. Just listening to it once is sufficient for them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teacher tells the mantra in his ears. And right there, listening to the mantra only once, he has goosebumps. He goes into samadhi. Tears are flowing from his eyes. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Swami Nityananda came to the town where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told one of his disciples that he is a great saint. Go and meet him. You will benefit a lot. His student asked him, how will I recognize Swami Nityananda? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, just take the name of Krishna once and you will see who Nityananda is. So he went to that house. There were a few people sitting there, and this disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the name of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And Nityananda was transported to a different state altogether. Krishna, 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 Krishna. His eyes were closed and he also went into samadhi. In front of Ramakrishna, when you say the Lord's name or you sing a bhajan, he goes into a different state. So what is night for them is day for you. What is day for you, what is night for you might be day for them. This is how you understand you are growing spiritually. So nirman moha jita sanga doshaha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sangyahi gachantya. They go. Amudha. Mood means one who is not wise. Amudha means wise one. Gachantya padam avyayam tam tat. That padam, that state, supreme, unchangeable, you attain. You have asked about the fear of missing opportunity, FOMO. Ask anybody who is doing some work in the share market. I think more than 35, 40, 50% of losses are incurred because of this feeling, fear of missing opportunity. I am going to miss the opportunity. So you are not able to follow the discipline that you have set for yourself. You are not able to wait. What are the X factors and M factors here? In this particular case, the example that I have given, I plus money is the X factor. That's why you are doing this work. And it could be any other fear of missing opportunity. It could be anything else. You are already 40 years old and your doctor tells you that you may not have babies now. You're getting old. So you can get FOMO even there. Fear of missing opportunity. That I should get married soon, or I should ask my boyfriend to give me a baby. We'll make a baby. Otherwise, this opportunity will be missed. We will not have our own baby in this lifetime. That becomes your X factor. And my baby, that's your M factor. It should come from my womb. My money, that's your M factor. In the previous example, ask yourself, how would I feel if I let go of this M factor? In any case, my is only a dream. Just like the visual of Eiffel Tower, this is also a mental formation. मेरापन भी एक स्वप्न है, एक भ्रम है. दिस इज सो सटल, इतना सूक्ष्म है ये समझना. इफ यू टेल एनीबडी इन द स्ट्रीट, what are you doing, my son, my daughter, my house, my mine-ness is a dream, he may slap you in the face. क्या बकवास कर रहा है? What nonsense you are talking. Still, it's a mental formation. In your deep sleep state, Sushupti Avastha, you don't have this mental formation. In the waking state, how to transcend it? How do you transcend it? Learn this next question now. Whatever the thought is that you are doing your inquiry upon, you have already done the conditioning question. Now you make this question your fifth question in the inquiry. That you're going to learn now. Is there an M factor hidden in this dream? Is there, in other words, a sense of mine-ness hidden in this dream? A, is it a dream or reality? B, if I am attached with this dream, how do I feel? C, if I detach and let go of this dream, how would I feel? Again, is there an M factor or the sense of mine-ness hidden in this dream? A, is it a dream or reality, the M factor? B, when I'm attached with this M factor, how do I feel? C, if, if I detach from this X factor, how would I feel? Susan, I asked her, is there an M factor hidden in this dream? And she said, my boyfriend. There is a human being whose name his parents have given, Martin, and he's a combination of three qualities. One fine day, he meets a girl whose name is Susan. Before this point of time, the mind was free from mine-ness about this human being. But after this point of time, the mine-ness was created in the mind. It was not there, now it is there, after some time it will disappear. But during that period when mine-ness is alive, it's a mental formation in which you are lost and you take it to be absolutely true. These are the three conditions of a dream. जो भी मेरा मेरापन है, क्या है वो? मेरी एक मनोवृत्ति है जिसमें मैं खोया हुआ हूं. It's a mental formation in which I am lost. And while I am lost, I consider it very real. So it is a dream. Is it a dream or reality? Susan says, I know now that it is a dream. You know, all your problems crumble once you understand this. All your conditionings don't have any foundation whatsoever to base themselves upon. It was the mine-ness that was fanning the fire. ये मेरापन ही था जिसके कारण सारा का सारा जो भी हमने मनोवृत्तियों का, विचारों का जो भी जंजाल खड़ा किया था, उसके बेस में क्या था? मेरापन. If you're attached with this dream of M factor, how do you feel? Susan says, I feel like controlling him. I want him to do things that I think are right. Suppose you detach from this X factor. How do you feel? Just think. M factor gone and you still don't have the soul. Would you be angry? Are you angry at your neighbor that you don't have the soap? You don't have the M factor attached with the neighbor. You have M factor attached with Martin. So you shout at him. You become sad now, angry now, restless now, helpless now. You say you cannot meditate. You say you cannot experience the moment. The mind is going everywhere else. It is not in the moment anymore. Where from it has started? He is my boyfriend and he should do things according to me. You get packed once again. You are possessive. You are affected by what he does. You want to control him. Similarly, Kathy, is there an M factor hidden in this dream? My husband. That is the M factor. You are now believing that there is a relationship of husband and wife. This belief exists in your mind, in his mind, and in the mind of so many people around you. And moreover, this particular belief you take to be absolutely true because you have signed some certain papers. Because one fine day you had gone to the church and the priest there had pronounced in front of many people that you are man and wife now. Now you can kiss each other. Or you had gone to the court, or you had, walked around fire 7 times. Whatever ceremony took place, that ceremony created this mental formation. Dave is my husband, and now he should follow what husbands should do. All the conditioning associated with husbands, you start imposing upon Dave. Husbands should look after wives. Husbands should support wives. Husbands should be the primary earners of the family. Husbands should look after their children well. So many shoulds and should nots get alive once that mine-ness is attached with somebody. Besides this, what were the other M factors? My views, Kathy's case, Susan's case also. Being organized is better than being disorganized. My view. Being spiritual, Kathy, is better than being non-spiritual, worldly. And because he is my husband or he is my boyfriend, he should listen to me. How do we feel, I asked Susan, when you detach? Susan says, I feel centered. I don't have any grudges anymore. Kathy also says the same. I am mindful now. And I feel free. Letting go of a fixation, of a wrong notion. Once you understand this, it is so freeing. Similarly, Janki and Urmila. What is the M factor? I asked Janki. My daughter, my views. And what are your views? That one should not have a tamasic partner. One should not have unnecessary, avoidable problems in life. One should take right steps. One should not be into emotive thinking. One should rather do rational thinking. Because she believes that Urmila is very sentimental, very emotional. It's from the heart she is thinking, and she's not using her intelligence. What the consequences will be of her actions, she is not using her intelligence. So mere emotive thinking is not good for being happy, is the conditioning. And she applies the conditioning to somebody with whom she has a relationship. She believes that there is a relationship. There is an M factor attached. So my daughter, my views, my life also here, that if he marries that boy, there'll be n number of problems in the future, and all of us will have to suffer because of that. The entire family will suffer. I will suffer when she'll suffer. One fine day she will come back with all the problems that she'll be facing, and then she will not be happy, and then this will happen, that will happen, and she creates a huge castle in her imaginations. A huge structure is created. ऐसा होगा, वैसा होगा, ऐसा नहीं होगा, वैसा नहीं होगा. Why? My daughter. I asked her, dream or reality, this mine-ness? Even Janki understood this. She said, I know it is a dream of my mind. In my previous birth, some other daughter was there. In my next birth, some other relatives will be there. It's only in this short period that we are together. And I have a strong belief that she is mine. Otherwise, what have you done? It's the nature that has done everything. The seed was planted in your womb, and then whatever process took place, have you yourself done it? Can you ever do it? Can you even create a piece of one seed of wheat? Can any scientist in the world do that? Go ask them. Just one grain of rice, produce it. They might be doing those GMO things, making things genetically modified, putting all those X-rays or whatever rays they put into the seeds. They might be able to create onions, half kilos each, no taste, or tomatoes. One tomato, half a kilo, but bland, no sourness there. They might be doing work on what is already created by nature, but they cannot create even one grain of rice. Similarly, you too. It happens. Things are happening. We unnecessarily poke our noses. मैंने किया, I did this, I did that. And then this is mine and that is not mine. What is Tulsidas saying in this regard? मैं और मोर तोरते हैं माया, जेहि बस कीन है जीव निखाया. मैं, मेरा, तेरा is Maya. I, mine, yours. This is the biggest illusion that the entire mankind is suffering from. I, mine, yours. Yehi bas kine. Everybody, Jeev Nikaya, all beings are under the spell of these illusions. Deep spell of these illusions. Everybody is dying and leaving everything behind. Not even a pin you will take with you. And yet nobody believes that he will also die. Yudhishthira telling Yaksha, what is the most marvelous or strangest thing that you see in the world? Yudhishthira's reply is, everybody is dying all around us. And it never occurs to us that we are also going to pass away soon. We remain as attached with things around us. So why मैं और मोर तोर तेह maya? The Maya spell is so strong and deep. Everybody is in the जेही बस कीने, वश में है सब लोग. Everybody is under this spell. Once you let go of the mine-ness, all that fixation, all that importance that you are attaching to people and things, it starts diluting, dissipating, disappearing. Your mind becomes settled. Now you understand that you only have to do your dharma from a state of completeness as a service, as a worship. Wherever you are placed, you have dharma towards yourself, highest. And in that set, there are subsets also. You vis-a-vis the family. You vis-a-vis the office, the business, or whatever work you are doing. You vis-a-vis the country. You vis-a-vis the entire world. You have dharmas, but the primary is you. Once you are centered, it will be so easy for you to roam around. You will be a walking bliss. Happy. FOMO gone. No opportunity is being missed. Because mine-ness is not there. I told you, Charo, the other day, but that was not the right time to explain. Mine-ness is a dream. You were too obsessed with your mine-ness at that time. But now you must contemplate. Mine-ness is a dream. And now decide what is good for you from a rational standpoint. What you decisions you ought to make from a rational standpoint and not from an emotive standpoint. One should have children. Really? What will be the consequences? And what is paramount for you in this life? Bearing children, raising them up, and living like any ordinary human beings, or working on yourself in order to get established in the self? What is more important? So let us practice now the mine-ness question. Only this question. The other questions we will do later. With the first mantra, pure joy is pure observation, Shuddhanand, Shuddha Drishti. If a thought occurs, detach from that thought and ask, what is the mine-ness hidden, M factor hidden in this dream? Is it a dream or reality? If I am attached with this dream, how do I feel? If I detach from this dream, how would I feel? Let us practice for about 15-20 minutes, please. As I told you earlier also, that meditation, dhyan, is a three-step process. Listening to the truth, getting the knowledge, contemplation upon the truth, and then dhyana happening. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana. And the first two are very, very important. Knowing the truth and then contemplating and digesting it well. So the inquiry that we are practicing, this is the part of contemplation, so that the mind will leave its fixations on its own. And then automatically the true awareness, the highest witnessing of the witness itself, being aware of the awareness itself, will take place. During the contemplation period, you are aware of, you are witnessing the thoughting and its roots, conditioning, Zen factor, X factor. We are going to learn more tomorrow and in the days to come. That's a part of contemplation. But where is the contemplation leading to? Being aware of one's identity with the self, the awareness, the light of awareness itself, which is immutable, which is eternal. When you are effortlessly residing in that state, then contemplation will also get dropped. There'll be no need. You will be naturally, without any effort, staying in that state of bliss. But right now, practice is a must. Contemplation is a must. Let us close with a Shanti mantra. Om Bhumi Mangalam, Udak Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Vayu Mangalam, Gagan Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Mano Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Sarva Mangalam Bhavatu Bhavatu Bhavatu, Sarva Mangalam Bhavatu Bhavatu Bhavatu, Sarva Mangalam Bhavatu Bhavatu Bhavatu. This earth is auspicious, is divine. The water is divine. The fire is divine. The air is divine. The sky is divine. The sun, the moon, all planets, the entire universe is divine. The individuals, the individuality, the body-mind complex, all this is from the same self. And of course, the self is divine. May all of us say, see Mangala, auspiciousness, divinity in all our experiences and hence remain peaceful forever. Just continue practicing the mindness question. If thought appears, detach and ask, what is the mindness hidden in this dream? Is it a dream or reality? If I am attached with this dream, how do I feel? If I am detached, how would I